Here we go, baby. You know what it is. You are now tuned into Planetary HQ, the planetary headquarters for all your celestial information. And if you haven't noticed by now, if you're just listening, you should take a look at your phone or your TV. We are together in the flesh.
No holograms, no virtual reality.
Forever. No. Yeah, it's official. No more tuning in over Discord. We are now all under one roof. And you're about to be getting a lot more content, baby. So this is the first of many. He literally just landed.
Absolutely. It took a 13-hour drive from Pennsylvania all the way to Tennessee here. I've done this drive before. I used to live in Nashville, but we're trying to take this to the moon. I'm going to
and beyond.
Moon coin.
Invest now, baby.
No, we honestly, it was like last week, and we were like, so like, are we starting our secret society or not? Because we already have like 2,800 people, watching us every Sunday. And it's time to officialize. It's time to institutionalize. Because institutions are the epitome of progress. Just
keep it a secret. It is a secret society, but we're just announcing it to all you guys because we trust you guys.
Skull and bones. I have it in my closet. Getting ready. No, this is great. I'm thinking about the energy right now. If you guys can see it, you're witnessing it in real time. But I'm used to talking to you over Discord, and when you're normally talking, it's like over the internet. Discord can't distinguish. When you're talking in real life and I say something like underneath you, in real life, it wouldn't stop you. You would be like, okay, that's normal. He's like kind of sub-commenting on what I'm saying and I can keep going. But when I'm talking to you over Discord, the internet can't distinguish that. And if I even go like, oh, it comes in full blast and you're like, you don't know.
Total interruption.
Yeah, total interruption. And I'm like, damn, that sucks.
Now we can talk over each other.
Exactly. Like you just did right there. Exactly. Yeah. It takes half the conversation totally away. And I'm like, dude, when we get together, it'll be a lot better. So when you were talking there, I was like, I had a feeling in me. I was like, don't interrupt him. But like what you just did right there, It was like perfect. Like just like we're talking in real life. So
we can all cut up now.
Yeah, to the viewers and the listeners, it's about to get real now. You thought we were fucking goofy in the beginning. Now it's about to get to the moon and invest in moon coin, baby. So
and guess who's in the chat?
Who?
Guess.
What, Gino?
Yeah.
What's up, Gino? Nice. What's going on?
Yeah, I made it. I made it out here finally. I know I was late. I said I would be here earlier, but we're doing it now.
Yeah, it's exciting, dude. It's exciting. Like I was saying before, it's so much more dynamic chemistry. So another hurdle overcome. My spirit is a little bit more settled, but it just makes me more motivated to get to the next obstacle, So, woo!
That's right.
That's all I got to say. I'm excited.
Whoops.
Billy Carson episode coming soon.
I might have had Spotify playing.
Oh, you had Spotify playing? Oh, sorry for that.
Could y'all hear the Spotify? Please don't copyright strike us.
No. I wouldn't.
I know, right? Stream already fucking done. But yeah. Shout out to Gino.
Physical presence.
I finished editing a very nice episode today. A Billy Carson episode. So that's coming out very soon.
I'm looking forward to that one.
All the listeners and the viewers, but we actually did not have a script for this podcast, and we did not even create a real thumbnail for it. So this is more ad hoc. What did we want to talk about, guys? We wanted to talk about Conscious Life Expo because we really never got to go over all the fine nitty-gritty for that. And also
just caught up on all the deets.
The deets.
And we wanted to kind of articulate our visions of the future.
Yeah.
What exactly. Can we do? Let's say
what is Planetary HQ?
Yeah, like if we had $1 billion, how would we spend it? What would we actually do? And that's not even necessarily the right question to ask. But if we had the leverage and the capabilities,
you love money, huh?
Money. How would we change the world? What steps would we actually take, and what is our vision? Because I mean, with all the geopolitics going on right now, you could easily see 15 years from now we either live in the rubble of World War III, nuclear Armageddon, or AI takeover, Terminator style, or we're all
I'm ready for that, dog.
Blade Runner future, Mad Max future. It's easy to imagine the bad future, and I think this is because of our evolutionary heritage. When we were living in the jungles, it was beneficial for us to identify the threats. You see a jaguar, and we're like, we announce it to each other. Now, when you look at the news cycle, it's all about identifying the threats, and that's important to.
I call that big Karen energy.
Big Karen energy, yes. You know, it's important not to be ignorant of what's going on. You want to stay informed, but what does the good future look like? And it's so rare to come by in the media. Like Star Trek depicts the good future. There's maybe a few other movies out there. They're rare, but we need more depictions of a good future. So that's what we're going to articulate to you today. So what are the three of our visions of a good future? And yeah, getting caught up on the adventures and misadventures y'all have been on recently. I think we got plenty to catch up on.
100%. And yeah, sorry, this is kind of a new setup. So on it, my tech side here is like worrying in the background that it doesn't sound good, and it's because I can't monitor things like correctly because it's kind of ad hoc.
Let us know.
So in the comments, if something sounds weird, let me know, because I'm not like monitoring the end result.
Yeah.
And it's just because this is like a quick setup. But as an audio engineer, you know that. But I gotta set the things of man aside, and become occult and secret, and we need to.
That's right. We're cult members
to
now.
higher matters.
So officially, we're no longer just like a podcast online. We're now a secret society, right? That's what this episode's about. We're initiating our secret society.
Amen.
Which you could join. Applications are secret.
Step 1, buy a t-shirt. Step 2, drop a super chat.
Yeah. No, but
the initiation ritual, like and subscribe.
But seriously, okay, so we've been binging Professor Zhang. He's been getting really big lately. He's been on all the news outlets, all the podcasts. He's spitting fire, dude. And it's a high school teacher.
He's a high school teacher.
Predictive History is his YouTube channel.
Yeah, shout out to Predictive History.
Yes.
And he just started his own channel, like Mr. Zhang, Professor Zhang something. Link might be in the chat or description. But shout out to Mr. Zhang. He talks a lot about secret societies and how they rule the world. It makes a lot of sense, because if there was a formal bureaucratic, I guess you would say, infrastructure hierarchy that runs society, then in theory it should, I'm talking about perfect ideal theory, it should run perfectly in its own sense. How would you infiltrate and overtake them? I would need to step aside with you two and be like, hey guys, see this organization? It's fucking going hard. It's hard to get in. Can we infiltrate it? Can you join the Treasury Department? You join the Security Department. I'll join the Communications Department. We will be, or not even within the same businesses. You can be like, you can join the Israeli intelligence liaison. You can join like the Swiss banking liaison, and I'll stay in the United States civil commerce sector. But secretly, we have our secret society, Planetary HQ. That
so
we have.
A couple years' time, we key representatives in the other organization.
That's exactly.
Is this not Sabbatean Frankism that we just talked about on the street?
No.
Co-opt other words?
No. Those are our dark lost brethren. We're using the tactics and turning them light. But like crypto Judaism, no, it's just. But having a secret agenda that has a higher priority than the group that you're currently in, you know?
That's the secret society principle.
Secret society,
right. And they work in society, but they're an inner working group, which is secret, which is working to their own ends amidst the power structures and, you know, systems of influence.
Bypasses it, usurps it.
You know,
Brandon and Mason and Justin, they were talking about that, you know. The Freemasons have the ability to like supposedly call people out of like military operations, you know, and in order to do that, that takes a lot of juice, a lot of power. And it also shows that in the Masonic fraternity, supposedly, you have more responsibility tied to the Masonic organization than the current thing that you're in. So even if you're in the military, whatever the Masons say, you have to do that before what you
the presidents who are Freemasons, on their tombstones it says Freemason, President of the United States. Like the Freemason title comes first before their president. That's like secondary. But I mean, the Freemasons had a concept of the profane masses. Like most people just can't get it, but we are like the holders of the truth. Although those profane masses are too ignorant to understand the truth, the select few will bring into our group and make great men better. The Zionists have a similar concept with the Goyim. It's just this idea with most secret societies that the average populace just can't get it.
Is it not true?
It's kind of true, though. it is kind of true. So, like, ideally, it makes sense that you would have the people who...
I'm not saying what no, I didn't say, like, with the Goyim, and I'm not saying that's true, but I'm saying, like,
can the mainstream populace really handle
it? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so I understand that. Like,
that's why this is a different secret society, Planetary HQ. We're an open secret society.
Yeah, because here's my opinion on this is like, it makes sense. You want to bring in the best of the best. Those are the people that control everything, and ideally that should work. But it doesn't. It inevitably gets corrupt. It's too centralized, too much secrecy, hiding in the shadows. But what if you can take those profane masses and raise them to a higher caliber? Everyone is on a higher level. Then you don't even need secret societies
anymore.
Instead
of manipulating them, stealing their children, and doing God knows what with them. Yeah, I think that'd be a better approach.
Yeah.
Is the secret societies helping society instead of...
Just raising the standard.
Yeah.
Raising the bar.
Well, I guess so. Like a Templars is a classic example of like,
where you're
somewhat secret society, but people's opinion, I think that the Templars is probably a little bit higher than the Masons. Maybe they're just not as well known. Like when people say the Masons, I feel like we think conspiracy, they're like controlling things and not in a good way. But when people say Templar, they kind of think back to like, oh, this is the ancient, like esoteric spiritual society working for... you know, the higher spiritual evolution of the planet. I'm sure there's... I probably just don't know the Templar conspiracies. That's probably the only difference. I bet they're the same as the Freemasons. But
yeah, they started the
they actually transformed into the Freemasons after the Catholic Church saw them as a threat. They had more money and power and all that.
The real thing. Oh, it goes deep, dude.
It goes deep.
It's all
dude,
connected.
Atlantis is America.
I just read A Dweller on Two Planets, which also says the same
The city of Atlanta got its namesake from that mythology.
Atlanta?
Yeah.
From Atlan. You know what I was thinking? Like Atlantis, Atlantic. Like I was like,
oh my god.
I was like, wait, where did the words come from? Because
where did they come from?
Like, how do we, if we trace them back, like, how do we, where did they come from? What is it?
So, like the Aztec civilization, and also the Native Americans in Georgia. And not only Georgia, but Native Americans scattered throughout the United States. They said that they are descendants of Azatlan. Azlantis, they said. Azlantis. And that's it.
I mean,
that's where you get the Aztec word from. So they're from Azlantis.
Yeah, but why is the Atlantic Ocean? Does that also have a connection to the Incas term or the Mayas?
So if you're European in the ancient civilizations, the land over, the Atlantic Ocean was like the barrier for the entire world. The land.
But what was it called that at the time? Like Atlantic, and in what language?
The Atlantic Ocean?
Yeah. Like for example, how does Atlantis translate in Plato's Timaeus and Critias, which is where Atlantis is first seen? Plato says he hears it from like Solon, I think, is some philosopher. And when we translate it, I guess from the Greek, we translate it as the word Atlantis.
Yes.
But then I'm wondering, like, where does the word Atlantic Ocean come in? Because the word etymology, like, I feel like you could suggest a history, because what the OG Atlantis channeled text is called A Dweller on Two Planets. You got to read it. It's like, honestly, it's like an esoteric wet dream It covers everything from this guy's life in Atlantis to the afterlife and what happens after he dies, the fall of Atlantis.
Do you know what time frame that was channeled? What was it?
It came out in 1905.
1905.
This is
Right.
early on, and it's like a high. It's like the narrative content, also the type of esoteric like truths explained is like very high degree, and apparently,
I got you.
You know, he started writing it when he was like 18.
Chat GBT, not to be AI. The name Atlantic Ocean comes from ancient Greek mythology and language, which is weird. It's Greek,
Yeah.
but Peruvian, Aztecs, South
Aztlan.
American, and Native American, North American Indians in Georgia said they were descendants of Atlantis.
Okay, so get this. You know
Not done reading. Keep
okay,
going.
okay.
You got 5 seconds. What?
You do what you were gonna do.
All right.
I got a thought on that.
Etymology. The Greek term Atlantikos Thalassa literally meant Sea of Atlas. Atlas was the Titan Greek mythology who punished Zeus to hold up the heavens, who was punished by Zeus to hold up the heavens at the end of the world on his shoulders. The Greeks believed the great ocean beyond the Mediterranean Sea lay near the mythical region associated with Atlas. So they called it the Ocean of Atlas. So it was named after the god Atlas, which we haven't dug into this at all. We could probably tie it to the staff, the Anunnaki. I don't know why I said staff. The staff.
The Atlantis is placed around like 9,000 to 12,000 years ago, I think. So
Atlantis?
Yeah.
From the Critias? From the Timaeus?
I guess this is from Dweller on Two Planets. I'm not sure what kind of date is in Timaeus.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Okay, so Plato got that information from Solon, and they were talking about Atlantis. And you can also say that Atlantis was literally just the land beyond the Atlantic Ocean. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The land beyond the Atlantic Ocean.
I mean, you think that's what they called it? Like any land beyond the Atlantic Ocean, they called it Atlantis? Or?
Well, you have to think about, okay, and the Vatican is popping right now, right? Okay. You know the real story, but not the real story. We'll do an episode on this later. The background story.
Every initiated individual.
You know
knows
Marco
the real
Polo.
story.
Marco Polo.
No, it's an app, right?
Yeah, no. Well, every initiated village knows the real story. Marco Polo. He was the first person to make it to China. Remember, to meet the Chinese emperor. He had the personal guardianship of Genghis Khan, and he made it to the Chinese emperor. Brought back a bunch of paintings, a bunch of goods, and supposedly, he brought back maps as well. And he was responsible for the Renaissance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The European Renaissance was because Marco Polo brought back a bunch of goods and Enlightenment material from the Chinese. We also found Chinese anchors off the coast of California,
America, yeah.
way before we got to the New World, right?
Whoa.
So the theory goes that Marco Polo brought maps from China to the royalty, the Vatican. And remember, the Vatican is the one who bestows sovereignty to kings and queens, right? Queen Isabella is supposedly the one who gave Christopher Columbus the maps to get to the New World.
Wow.
So Marco Polo went to the Vatican, gave the Vatican maps that he got from China how to get to America.
Whoa.
So the Vatican had already been going to the New World for a long time before Columbus did.
And the Chinese had already in a previous expedition been here, and that would explain some of the genetics, and some of the Mesoamericans kind of have a little bit of Chinese features, but trying to uncover the etymology of the word, the connection between Atlantis and Aslan. If you follow human haplogroups, just genetic markers, you can actually trace the Incans have human haplogroups that looked like they got there not through the land bridge, but across.
Oh my God!
The Polynesian islands.
Atlantis was the Polynesian islands.
Right, because you got the what is it called? Those big heads,
Yes,
the Maui statues?
The Easter Island.
The Easter Island, yeah, thank you. Easter Island could have been some central headquarters hub.
I could dig that, dude.
You got the kahunas. So there's a really good book, the Secret Science of Miracles by Matt Freedom Long, I believe. Early 1900s. He moved to Hawaii. He was an outsider. And ended up becoming fascinated on the secret society in Hawaii, the kahunas. They believed they could practice special magic and all this stuff. But he was studying the etymology of a lot of their words. And he found a strange connection. There are words they use for spirit to describe spirit as water flowing through you. That similar African tribes have some of these identical words to describe the same things. And what he uncovered is a sacred tradition from ancient Sumeria had somehow made its way to the Incas and also to the Hawaiians following this seafaring route across the Polynesian islands.
Yeah. Well, so here's a nice catch is that in this Atlantis book that I'm talking about, Dweller on Two Planets, is they say that he draws a map and it is like in between the Americas and the Europe continents, like they're in the Atlantic Ocean. He draws like a big island and he says the whole thing sank, but he says that they had colonies.
Give me some hotness because I got hotness.
They had colonies and the Incas was one of the colonies. He even says like a lot of the ancient like bison and livestock that we found in abundance were like planted there as Atlantis's like livestock growth source, where they had like tons of animals in Americas that they're, I guess, we're using and bringing back to their island.
Also, the Sumerian gods Enlil and Enki, there are direct correlations with some of the Incan gods, like the sun god, and the mythology and how they relate with each other. So there's a lot of mysteries there of that cross-fertilization of culture.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like historical documentation that has to go and like a really vivid story that has to go along with this. So like I was saying, with Marco Polo bringing back maps to the Vatican, and supposedly that's how the Vatican got maps to get to the New World. Everybody knows the Christopher Columbus story, right? Do you remember
the basics of it?
Do you remember how Christopher Columbus got to America? Do you remember the names of the boats?
The Mayflower?
No. The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
Okay.
Okay. The Mayflower, you motherfuckers. We'll get to the Mayflower in a second. You need to read your history.
Dude, they didn't have these books on the spaceship.
Okay. So, do you guys know the Knights Templar symbol?
Yeah, it's like a red cross, right?
Yeah. You see that? The red cross?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. The people can't see that, but okay. So the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, if you can Google that. Sorry, we don't have the graphics up. We'll get there soon, guys. It's our first day together. But see the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria?
Knights Templar
Knights
flag.
Templar flags. That was on sales. Okay.
So they were a secret society.
Okay.
So the Vatican had supposedly got maps from Marco Polo hundreds of years before the Columbus mission. They had made secret voyages out there to find the new world, Atlantis, the land beyond the Atlantic Ocean. So when they landed, they believed, oh my God, we found Atlantis. Like, holy fuck. Keep this shit a secret. Only tell it to the Vatican, you know?
Got it.
But the thing was, Christopher Columbus was the fourth voyage. So now let's fast forward to what you guys said, the Mayflower, which was later. Because Columbus didn't make it to America. He made it to the Bahamas, remember? The Mayflower and the Pilgrims and all them, they were the ones who really colonized America. So when the Mayflower landed, they met the Indians in New York. And there's Indians there, and they're like, hey, how's it going? We're in the New World. And they're like, what do you mean? We've met white people before. And they pulled out a flag. And they're like, we have a flag from you guys. And it's still their tribal flag today. They're the Micmac tribe.
Templar battle flag. Micmac national flag. It's just upside down.
That's the flag they pulled out.
Oh my God.
So when the Mayflower landed and they met the Indians, the fucking Micmac tribe pulled out a Templar battle flag and said,
Wow.
we've met we've met you white people before. What are you talking about? We know about you guys.
I
We've
love-
helped you guys like navigate the lands.
That's amazing. That's really interesting.
And that's a secret of history that they don't want you to know about.
You don't learn that in school.
So the theory is that the Vatican was making secret trips to Atlantis, the New World, had 3 expeditions. The 4th one never made it back. And then they hired Columbus because he was the best navigator known at the time to lead their 5th expedition back to the New World in Atlantis. And that's what we hear in the history books, is Columbus coming here for the first time. And the Vatican had been coming for a long time. If you look at the Y-Files just did a great episode on it in their basement. The Kensington Stone, have you heard about that?
No.
The Kensington Rune Stone, dude. It's literally the Knights Templar they got here. It was found in Wisconsin. Look at this.
What?
And it literally is in like the
Wisconsin?
yeah.
Whoa.
Or Kensington. I might be saying not Wisconsin or sorry, Kensington.
Interesting.
One of the American states. Let me get this right so I don't sound like an idiot. Minnesota.
Okay,
Sorry. Minnesota. And it states a Knights Templar journey when they landed. And it records like we landed at this date. There are this many people with us.
What language is that written in? What is that?
I think it's like
That's like
Roman
runes.
or Latin or like ancient something. I forget.
Is that because they were a secret society and they encoded
Yes.
their message?
And dude, you have to watch the Y-Files latest basement episode with Scott Walters. Oh my God, they go so deep into it and they break it down, and it's so clearly the Knights Templar mission before Columbus came here, and they recorded. You can also find this in New York, in the Roanoke tribe. If you know the Roanoke story, I'm not going to get into it. A colony landed there, and they disappeared. It was supposed to be like a Knights Templar colony. The captain left to go get supplies, never came back. That was the colony that was left when the people didn't make it back to the Vatican. So they sent Columbus. Those people that were there, they left records, and they said they're waiting. Nobody's coming back. And then they actually mated with the locals. And when the Mayflower landed, they found people with like blonde hair and blue eyes with the native population. So it shows that they had mated with that's the Roanoke tribe. It's very interesting.
Okay, so Planetary HQ needs to go do something like this. This is we gotta start
deep.
Expedition to a neighboring world.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize that secret societies were expected to find. So I guess
That's what America is. America was supposed to be the rebellion against the ancient European banking system for the new free colony, away from the old world order, and now they have taken it back.
Oh yeah, all the founding fathers were in a secret society. Benjamin Franklin
So
was all about it.
hot take. I think we need to go to Antarctica and meet with the peoples that are living there.
Oh yeah, there's a big population already there.
Reestablish the new world order. Planetary HQ. And we'll do
specific civilization that I shan't name on camera, who maybe has some anti-grav in Antarctica.
They did not see us coming.
Admiral Byrd was, he failed.
They did not see us coming. Get it?
Not see us. They
those
did
and
not
ears to
see
hear.
us coming.
Not see us coming. Yeah, not see us. Fine. All right, but yeah. So secret societies. That's what's fun. America was supposedly. I keep saying supposedly. Sorry, D not B. I like saying supposedly though. It makes me sound like a little kid.
Just go for it.
Because the old bankers and the Vatican and all that shit had like a super hyper grasp on Europe, and it was like a dogmatic. The Vatican was the government, like what we consider like the government of America. Like
that's why I had a separation of church and state.
That's why America came and they had the first separation of church and state, and that was supposed to be like the new world for spiritual enlightenment. And look what the rebels did.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah.
You know what? And it's not because
Hold it down,
the
use the
state.
bathroom.
All right. It's not because the state will be corrupted by the church. It's because the church will be corrupted by the state.
Ooh,
I mean, the church became ultimately corrupt if you look through the Middle Ages on up to the modern day. So
Yeah.
the separation of church and state is a good thing. Which kind of touches on our last live stream, talking about the doomsday ideology overseas in Iran, which is kind of crazy. But we won't get into that. That's a whole tangent. The Knights Templar is interesting because it was sort of an ultra efficient, I don't want to say pyramid scheme, but it was almost like communism in a way. But the Knights Templar, they had, everyone who was a member kind of paid their dues. They paid taxes to the Knights Templar. They had so much money. They had more money than the Catholic Church. Oh, there you go. Little shotgun. I believe it was like everyone who joined the Knights Templar, you got 2 horses. It was an abundance. You got your own room. You got it set up with a sword and shield and all that. So
with a sword.
it was a good deal, 2 horses.
Gang, gang.
Yeah. So there's a lot of incentive. The Knights Templar. So eventually, ultimately, the Catholic Church saw them as a threat, and there was this whole campaign to just eradicate the Knights Templar. And like one day, the Catholic Church went through and just raided all these homes.
As one secret society does to another.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah. We're the head secret society here. No secret societies on our secret society watch. But yeah, it has a certain name. Is it called like the something massacre? I forget. Or
Yeah,
the night of something. It was.
It was a big deal.
Dimolo or something like that. He's a French guy was in charge of the Templars at the time.
Yeah. Interestingly
Do you
enough,
know the secret though?
well, I know one secret is that about a year or 2 later, the Freemasons emerged. What a coincidence.
Okay, so to connect some dots, listen to the Y Files, Scott Walters. I swear to God, it connects so many dots. One that Freemasons or when the Knights Templar got the order to get disbanded and murder everybody. I think it was a Friday the 13th.
Oh,
which just
yeah.
passed. It was a Friday the 13th.
That's why that's an unlucky day.
I think there's documents that like a day later they went to go open the treasury vault that the Templars were in charge of, and it had, oh my God, you're just gonna cry, dude. So he opens the vault and writes down like it's empty, and it was like billions of dollars worth of gold and treasure, and the Templars fucking looted it. And then there's documentation saying that like it got on a boat to the New World.
Oh.
And then there is a document. Watch this Y-Files episode, dog. So sick. Link will be in the description. One of the boats in the New World, a Freemason is like one of the family members is taking note of the inventory and goes like, there's an ark with like 2 cherubs on the top.
No.
Of gold with broken tablets in it. And then he goes, there's also an emerald tablet.
No.
Are you sure that wasn't just one secret society
Yeah.
trying to convince another one they had the Ark of the Covenant?
It could be, bro. And then he's like, it's
a little
it's
psyop.
Flexing. They're like,
Then-
yeah, we got nukes.
And then he says like, it's you guys know the Oak Island mystery?
No, I
Catch
know
me
the
up.
name,
I've heard a
but-
lot of buzz
In
about
Oak
it. but-
Island, they found a crazy like underground like 13-layer contraption,
Like National Treasure kind of
national treasure type shit.
Huh.
In the documents like hide the treasure over there, and then like there's other document that says like take the treasure out, we need it, and then it says we're gonna use this to fund the Revolutionary War
thing. Holy shit.
against the European bankers. And then people today who like tally up all the money that we got from like France, like all the people who supported us in the Revolutionary War, it only accounts for like, I think it says like 55 to 65% of the money. They don't know where else. And then there's documentation from these Freemasons that said that they used the loot that they stole from the Templar treasury to fund the Revolutionary War to create a free state away from the Illuminati.
5D chess.
Yeah.
Damn.
Fucking goes deep, dog.
And we don't even have to get into how the Knights Templar was an evolution of the Order of the Hashashins, who practiced
We
mind
should get
control.
into that.
All right.
Let's get into that.
All right.
So the opposing factor, because remember the Crusades was the Catholic Church, the Vatican, going to the Holy Land to destroy the demon worshippers, the infidels. Those are the Muslims and the Jews. So the Muslims, they were, I mean,
in Persia, they had.
I was gonna say they beat us, like I'm a Crusader. They beat the Crusaders a lot in a lot of battles. They were a really well organized military force, and they had people called the Hashashin.
The ultimate secret society.
That's where you get the word assassin from. Assassin.
Assassin's Creed, that whole series is inspired off of this. A secret order of assassins, highly trained. The legend goes, apparently this actually happened. I can't remember his name, but he was like the leader of the Order of the Assassins.
Oh, like the old man in the
Optimus
mountain.
Prime.
Let's go with that.
He's the reference as like the old man of the mountain or something like that.
Yeah, and he has a name. I can't remember what it is, but he was this Persian ruler. He would
Xerxes? No.
I don't know. He would entice these young men to come to his oasis. He would pretty much drug them, knock them out. They would wake up in this oasis. He would be like, "Let me show you a vision of the afterlife. This is what you get if you fight for me." So they'd wake up in this beautiful garden oasis. You know, they live in a desert setting.
Hassan Isaba?
Hassan, that's probably it, Hassan, because I know like Hassas.
Also known as the old man of the mountain. Look at
Hassas.
Come on, nigga. Come on. We got that shit.
The like assassin, the Hassassin was based off his name, so it makes sense. His name is
Hassani
Hassan.
Sabia, yeah.
Hassani. So he would lure them in, kind of knock them out. They would wake up in this beautiful oasis in the desert.
Like a cinematic dream. Give me some. Tell me like you're hitting me with the Hollywood script.
All right, so they open their eyes, they look around, and all they see is this beautiful garden oasis. There were literal channels built of bricks with milk and honey flowing through, and they could sip from it. They're like, "Oh, I'm in heaven." There's these beautiful concubines tending to all their fantasies.
What's a concubine?
His harem of women.
What's a harem?
His army of beautiful women that he has.
Tell me like it's HBO, dog.
Yeah.
Paint this picture.
Yeah, give me.
His sexy babes that would lure them into a vision of the afterlife. Okay. So then they would smoke hashish. That's why they're hashashins. And he'd be like, "This substance will give you a glimpse of this heaven, of this afterlife. It'll give you spiritual powers." So they lock in. So they get knocked out again from opium or whatever. Mm-hmm. Wake up back in the desert. They're like, "I saw the afterlife. I'm going to do anything for this guy." Yep. So there was one legendary tale of another army opposing this secret Persian society. And he told this other king, can't remember who it is, select a guy, and he had all his men in a row, and they're all like, I'll die for this leader. He's like, just point to one. He points to him. They're at the edge of a cliff. And so the king points to him, and he just jumps off. And the way the legend is told is he had that much control over their minds. So this actually goes back to the mystery schools, where they got a lot of their initiation rituals. And a lot of these initiation rituals are carried over into the Knights Templar, into the Freemasons, into the Skull and Bones, and all the frat house secret societies. They practice a lot of these similar things, like Skull and Bones, which George Bush was a part of. They would lay in a coffin with a hooker or something. There were all these certain rituals that would involve like laying in a tomb or a casket or a coffin. Well,
I believe it.
Professor Jang actually touched on this and blew my mind. The Egyptian mythology, when you tell it, it doesn't really make that much sense as a story. Like Osiris and Isis, this Egyptian god is dismembered and put back together. None of it really makes sense, but it all starts to make sense when you realize it's not just a mythological story. It is actually a script to follow and act out. And so the ancient Egyptians, they would have to, they had a god as their leader, the pharaoh. It was a problem that this was actually a human being. That pharaoh had to believe they were of divine origin. So they would actually, the Egyptian, secret society guys, the Egyptian Illuminati, basically.
Priests.
The priests, thank you, would actually drug the to-be pharaoh and have him go through all these reenactments of this mythology. And they believed that by reenacting it, you're invoking the memories of the gods in the pharaoh.
Yeah.
So he would lay in a tomb. He would get like cuts, just like gentle slices on his arm to emulate the god being pulled apart and all this put back together.
Yeah.
And yeah, all that is carried over into the modern day, and we still have a lineage of secret traditions carried out by the manifold secret societies that are operating on Earth today.
So we need to come up with some rituals for our society.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I got a couple. Smoke a
Smoke
flat
weed every
blunt.
day.
Smoke a fat blunt. Go outside under the stars. Meditate together. Have some love. And you might see a space brother. No, but I get what you're saying, though. There are weird things that ancient Egyptians and ancient Sumerian and ancient Hashashin did in order to manipulate and mind control society. This isn't a new technique. This is an ancient technique. If you're just some random kid on the street and I'm like, hey bro, come kick it with the big dogs, he's like, oh my god, this is my time to shine.
You're Diddy? You invite someone to your party?
I got chicks. Bro ain't never talked to a chick. Oh my god. Comes to the mansion for a bit. Nigga ain't never seen a mansion before. He's been out with the camels and the fucking rubbing sticks together. He sees my mansion and I got fucking girls. Give him a little opium, give him a little weed. Hey, you two, go fucking show him a good time tonight. Bro, he's never even, his mind can't comprehend what the fuck just happened. He wakes up. This is amazing. Yeah. Boom. Next night, same shit. Get him high. Drop him in the desert. Not too far that he can't find his way back.
You have a perfect subservient subject at that point.
He comes fucking coming back like, what the fuck? Hey, bro. I don't know what happened. What happened? I said, I got some bullshit story I sent you on a minute, or I talked to him. Oh, I need this shit back. Okay, cool. I can bring you back in, but you need to do this for me. Low level task. My homie needs camel food. Go get the camel food. Boom. Comes back. 6 months of that. Yo, now I need some AK-47 ammunition. You got me on that? This isn't obviously correlating to the time frame, but I'm saying like...
But the same kind of thing is going on.
Yes, you can influence people, and then now you're saying they think, even as a reinforcer to that, they would tell this fool like where you were last night with the girls and the opium and the weed, because he doesn't know what opium and weed is. He's been like drinking water and eating camel's fucking milk. He's fucking high as doesn't even know what he thinks it's heaven right now, and the girls around him. He wakes up in the morning and you can be like that you're in paradise, fool.
Yep.
And then you want to live in paradise. You want to live here. I will let you be in here forever. And you have like a gated fucking tiny kingdom with buildings and shit. You want to live in this kingdom, dude? Go kill that. Go. You don't like this fool over here. Go to that town. Act like you're just a local. Get a job. Stay low key for 2 weeks, and then kill this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And you'll be in paradise forever, dude.
Yeah.
And then you do that forever for 20, 50 years, and you tell your kid how to do that, and then you teach your best homie how to do that.
And it's sacred, it's a sacred tradition you're passing down.
Now you run the region, and then rebel midwayers are popping up, like, showing you like crazy visions, dude.
Yeah, I mean, in the early 90s, Bill Cooper has a really good breakdown of all this. His Mystery Babylon series, he describes the whole evolution and etymology of secret societies, and a lot of people thought he was crazy. Nowadays,
people do
this. With the Epstein files coming out and all that, you're like, oh, holy shit. People are still using leverage to manipulate masses of people, regime change, psyops. It's all still happening. It's just the human game of chess that's been played since the dawn of time.
Dude, I can't even comprehend. the level they're working on.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of these fools that are actually running this have this vision of how they feel like they need to micromanage the world to make it all right. And that is ultimately the goal. That's why conspiracy theorists get freaked out over the New World Order. It's a police state, dystopian, total control. Everything you do is monitored. Well, it's because when you try to control everything and you try to micromanage and it's not working, you need more control to make it work. But I do believe there is a good future where you actually just empower people to handle themselves so you can step away. Do you remember that evolutionary biologist that was on Lex Friedman? I can't remember his name. And he talked about those flatworms and how we do experiments with them.
God, he's my favorite, dude.
Levin.
Yeah, Michael Levin.
Michael
Thank
Levin.
you. He gave this
so good.
He gave this great analogy
So
of
good.
biology, what they're doing with little microorganisms, and he gave this kind of silly analogy, but it works. He said, imagine you want to take some dogs and you want to teach them to stand on each other to make a pyramid. How would you like micromanage them to do that? You would have to figure out their brain and hijack their neural circuitry and understand how every neuron relates with each other and develop the technology to make that work. And it's so beyond our scope, but you could simply train the dogs and then they could stand up and make their pyramid. And so he's training like microorganisms to do these amazing things through voltage harmonics and all this stuff. Really interesting. But one cool example is you would cut a flatworm in half and they kind of regenerate. And by applying a like bioelectric field in a certain voltage pattern, it'll grow another head instead of a tail. So they're getting like life carrier control over biology just by kind of guiding it rather than trying to micromanage it. But you could apply this to the human species. All of us need good training. We all need good education. We all need discipline. And so likewise, we can be trained to build a utopia on Earth. We don't need to be micromanaged and coerced into building some artificial world that some elites view as an ideal world. I believe from the ground up, we can actually come together and build this better world.
And we could probably hit you with 9-volt battery on the tongue while you sleep, and you will also grow a second head.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Supposedly, Trump has them secret weapons. I don't know if you've been watching his tweets. He has secret weapons he can hit people with. In Venezuela, he hit people with like a ray gun that made them puke and their eyes were bleeding and shit.
Yeah, did you hear about the leaked report of one of the Venezuelan police that said like they had crazy weapons from the future, psionic abilities and all this stuff?
Like our eyes were bleeding and then we started puking and our buttholes started leaking diarrhea at the same time. Is that not the Michael Levin frequency?
on a human scale? Oh,
we're
God,
talking
you're
about.
right, yeah.
I don't know where you're
weapons.
going. Dude, you lost me. You lost
Hey,
me. You fucking lost me, dog. I'm trying to keep up with you. You said fucking flatworms. You said Michael Levin.
My
and I
ADHD,
don't know where it came from.
I'm going all over the place. But the reason I broke that up was his analogy.
You need to fucking hit me quick with it, bro.
His analogy of training the dogs rather than micromanaging them. I would apply that secret societies.
The rituals. We're talking about the rituals and the initiation procedures.
Trying to micromanage the human mind. Thank you.
But in terms of, I guess we're Planetary HQ, our secret society. The reason we're giving the history of secret societies.
Yes.
That's kind of the context of the conversation. Is like,
how can we be a different secret society?
Look, power has been managed through these initiation rituals, right? And they induct the next generation of humans into this influence structure. And we see this on a large scale in a very evil manner in the Epstein files, right?
Ooh.
So now that being said, other secret societies, like let's say the Templars, let's say that they have a high or lofty goal for humanity, but they also have their channels of influence and power. Their tactics are still somewhat similar, but maybe they're not as like willing. Maybe they have greater inspiration for the individual to become the next leader.
Yeah.
But I kind of lost where I was going with that. But I guess I'm just thinking like there's like secondhand templates being used here, but they're not the higher templates that could be installed into the
Yeah.
planet
Distortion.
via a planetary headquarters. And that's kind of like maybe one of our ideals as Planetary HQ. We're not just trying to hit you with the hottest conspiracies so that you know how the world works. It's like,
Solutions.
here's the problem, we're presenting solutions. Because the worst thing that can alter your state of mind is hearing about so many problems without solutions.
That you can't do anything
Causing
about.
anxiety.
Just
Yeah.
anxiety. No solution. Anxiety.
And I feel like a lot of people feel like that
They make
in
money.
daily life.
They make money off it.
Yep.
But I do want to connect all of what we're talking about to the original secret society,
Okay.
the Anunnaki. You know,
I guess you're right.
500,000 years ago, the Anunnaki landed, and then 250,000 years ago, for some reason, Lucifer landed, and they decided to gang up and rebel against the greater cosmic government. I'm not going to repeat the entire story, but there's a universal government that celestials are in charge of, and the celestial that was in charge of our galactic sector was named Lucifer, and he rebelled against the greater cosmos. When that happened, the Anunnaki split. There is 100 Anunnaki, and they had 100 assistants, so 200 total. If we're talking about just the 100 initial Anunnaki, 60 of them rebelled, and 40 of them stayed positive. The 40 that stayed positive were ruled by an Anunnaki named Van, and he made his headquarters in Lake Van of Turkey. Think I'm bullshitting you? Go on Google and type in the ruins of under Lake Van in Turkey. You're going to see some crazy shit. It's a Proto-Sumerian civilization. The leader of the rebel Anunnaki was named Nod. He was mentioned in the Bible.
The land of Nod.
The land of Nod. When Cain killed Abel, Cain got banished to the land of Nod, and he found a wife. So the Anunnaki landed 500,000 years ago. Adam and Eve landed 37,000 years ago. So when Adam and Eve had their kids, when he went to the land of Nod, it was at the land of where was already pre-established by these Anunnaki. That's why he went to the land of Nod. It was already set up by previous celestials. So Nod, the leader of the 60 rebellious Anunnaki, guess what? He was the first to introduce banking and credit to our planet. And he used this system to rule the surrounding cavemen. Can you imagine if a celestial landed who was 1 billion years old and was like, "What's up, caveman?" And you're like, "Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Food, coconuts." And he's like, "I have money if you give me this." You know, he starts a credit system. These tribes aren't even ready for it. They see money, they freak out. Have you seen the Sam Rosalie on Joe Rogan or Lex Friedman?
No.
When Lex Friedman went into the Amazon rainforest with this guy, Sam.
Oh, yeah,
and you
yeah,
got
I know
the
who you're
you
talking
got
about.
The first foot, shout out to Sam. Need to get you on the podcast.
Footage of an uncontacted tribe, right?
Uncontacted tribe. He got footage of it. He's like a modern day Lois and Clark, dude. He
Yeah.
got footage of a first uncontacted tribe, dude. But he said that they were asking him for a bunch of bananas, and they were swarming him. And he said, "We can't give you these bananas. If you want bananas, you need to have one of these coins." And he gave one person a coin, and that person had the coin and gave it to him. Gave it to like the person he needed to give it to. And when he gave him the coin, he got his 5 bananas. And once he did that, like the 20 other dudes that were behind him, it clicked, and all day and night they were only like raiding the fucking village for coins so they can get bananas. And I was like, Nod and the Caligastia banking system ran the fucking entire area.
Yeah.
So this billion-year-old celestial did that, ran the planet.
And they have all the resources, and they
Everything.
can secure the resources because they got
own
advanced tech
everything.
and they're immortal.
And military power from
They got
the
manpower.
Book of Enoch, where it talks about building the weapons and building the armor.
They taught the humans how to build weapons and armor.
So they were way more
showed them the
advanced.
symbolic exchange of money. They became, the tribes are like coming in like, "I'll give you
Jesus
some pennies
Christ.
for bananas."
Uh-huh. And we can't overthrow you because you have swords, armor. They were just killing it. These secret societies, everybody talks about the banking families. They derive their lineage from Nod, the rebellious Anunnaki.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm trying to make that connection. That all these evil secret societies are descendants of the 60 that are rebellious. Planetary HQ, we're descendants of the 40 that were loyal.
Yeah, that's right.
We're Vanites.
We did the 23andMe. It checks out.
Yep.
Yeah, we're the Vanite secret society. So
Hell yeah. I just got to say, I don't think we need money. I mean, like, it is a brilliant idea. I think it's training
man
wheels.
was gonna solve it all right now.
I am. I think the financial system is training wheels to get us to a stage where we're ready to transcend it, but I don't think we will always be using money. We have everything on our planet to live in an age of abundance. We just need to be smart enough to figure it out. Like food, yeah, you use money to buy food, grow it from big agriculture. You got factory farms and all that, or you could have some cows and chickens and an urban garden. You can grow enough food in an urban garden in a small little block in a city with a backyard, or on a rooftop. You can grow enough food to have abundance, more than you will ever eat. One cow creates enough meat. If you throw it in the freezer, you can last all year on that. And, you know, cows can reproduce. Vegetables, they reproduce.
What are you saying? Keep going, dude.
So I believe that in the future, which can happen, it can happen sooner than later, we can live in self-sustaining eco-villages, grow everything we need, and we actually will render the financial, like, global banking system, will render the governments obsolete. I think that's the solution. We don't necessarily need to take over the governments. We render them obsolete because everyone's living this way. They're like, well, they're having more fun living this way. Why would I even need to live in the Matrix when I can grow everything myself? We have the technology now. We can have automated 3D printer, garden, nozzle bits and all this. We can have robots helping us out, solar panels.
I get you.
That's the future.
That's good. But even in that perfect eco village, if you initiate it right now, and I have $1 billion and I do that right now, and I just say, hey, perfect program, anybody can join, how will it be sustainable? Will it be sustainable if you only focus on the materialistic aspect of it?
Or will it just become another cult?
I mean, they try to do this with like homeless societies, and it doesn't work. It never works. Why? When you make sustainable homeless villages, why doesn't it ever work? Everybody is drug addicts, and it becomes an open drug market. You know, like if you don't work on the actual person, the mind, body, spirit.
Yes.
Right. You can't just install an infrastructure, and that's one of the things that the Anunnaki understood. To give like some larger background story and try and paint this picture of the can of worms. Enoch 1, also known as the Book of Enoch, says that in the days of Jared, there were 200 that landed on Mount Hermon, and they were in. It names their chiefs of 10. It gives these like 10 names of these watcher beings, and it says that these 10 divisions taught humanity how to do different things: agriculture, metalworking, even like beautification and makeup and high culture of like arts, and that's what the Anunnaki were actually sent here to do. They were installing principles of civilization into tribalistic peoples.
They were trying to help us.
They were trying to help. So it didn't initially start as this system of necessarily control. However, there was a type of, I guess, initiation process that the Anunnaki used to integrate and get the attention of the tribal members. Because the thing is that, like, they were kind of seen, and also, so in the Anunnaki, they created avatar bodies for Earth. They didn't look like aliens. They looked like kind of like epic humans, and they were immortal. So they still, built a reputation, but I'm talking about how they had an initiation process to get the tribal members in. One of them was like showing them, hey, we have resources here. If you bring us, like, here's the symbolic money system. When you bring this to us, I give you this. So they teach them that. But what I'm saying is that initially some of these tribes, there's like maybe one person, there's a small people that are curious enough to go interact with the Anunnaki.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would teach them things and they would send them back out to the tribes. And so that in itself is like this initiation process, right?
Oh, 100%.
These secret
That's
societies
like the ultimate mystery
bring people
school,
in.
secret society.
They scout for those who are receptive, who they can kind of like control or influence. Once they train them up, they send them back out. What do they call that? The Young Leaders Economic World Forum
young
connection?
global leaders.
Young global
Yeah.
Leaders. I was about to say, like that's a divine program, but what if you invert it and use it for
Right. As when the Anunnaki
Dark.
rebelled, that same system of influence was there. So
inverted?
now paint that picture of the bloodlines that these ancient banker lineages who believe that they're connected to alien lineages and
Reptilian
higher
banking?
space civilizations. Like they inverted the structure of influence that was meant to
Yes.
build a worldwide civilization, something to last 50,000 plus years. But because
Doomed to crumble.
at the time of the inversion, none of these societies could last for longer than X amount of, it could be 10,000 years, but then it crumbles because of that inversion.
Sabbatean Frankism
Yep.
poked a hole in that shit for sure. Though that inversion is where the
And that's
nobody
why Atlantis
recognizes
fell.
it. That's why that nobody that the exactly that's it is Atlantis. Was Atlantis a prophecy
A prophecy.
Oh,
for America?
America will become Atlantis and we'll
Yeah.
destroy ourselves.
Will we-
Ooh, that'd be crazy, dog.
Yeah.
5,000 years from now, will the legend of America merge with the legend of Atlantis? They were a great civilization that
It
destroyed
wasn't a
themselves.
historical record. It was a prophecy.
Oh, shit.
No, but
Oh.
I also want to make the connection between. We read the Urantia context, the Urantia book a lot on this channel, but why they don't address the South American pyramids, but they do hint at that Peruvian lineage that starts
Yeah.
the South American kingship. And it's like, at that point, were they practicing inversion? And maybe that's why it wasn't talked about in the context.
That's like a need to know basis, and the revelators who presented that text were like, you don't need to know this information.
Yeah, because these were dark brotherhoods who practiced inversion.
Right.
They still had celestial knowledge and information, but at the tip top, what they practiced was inverted. So it might be too dangerous to teach, If you're a Urantia book reader, I hope this resonates with you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I hope this stimulates some mystery
Yes.
in your spirit. But
I mean, it that also makes me think of like any. Okay, so we talk about what we call celestials, ultra-terrestrials, and aliens. These kind of three levels. And the ultra-terrestrials, we did an episode on this, were actually born of a special cosmic lineage. And check out our video. What's it called?
I took her to Alton Attack.
Oh yeah, it was our Valentine's Day stream.
Valentine's Day special. Yeah.
And it tells the origin story of these ultra-terrestrials.
But we also do have more ultra-terrestrial videos. Go to the live stream and scroll through it. We do so many that
But so I wanna tie this into these secret society things, because here's the thing about these ultra-terrestrials.
Yes,
They were
bring
born.
Bring that up.
They were born like nearing 37,000 years ago. The secondary set of these ultra-terrestrials.
Okay, but honestly, what I'm reading on my Instagram right now and Reddit, they're all talking about like the Hollywood is in contact with demons.
Yeah. Okay.
And like Satanists.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's a good link. So I guess what I'm kind of proposing here is that some of these secret societies believe at the high levels that they are actually interacting with non-human intelligence, and that they're creating deals,
Yes.
and that they are like actively working
About to
with,
get the goosebumps right now.
and that there's an exchange of power. You've heard this
dude.
as selling your soul to the devil in Hollywood, right? Hollywood is like, what is
that
The
a
Hollywood
myth, or is there an actual fucking?
is it?
Sorry, I
okay.
cut
Is
you
it
off.
true?
What do you say? Keep going.
I was gonna say Hollywood. You
Yeah.
pointed out that it's called Hollywood because the material that you make like a wand out of was the holly tree.
Hollywood.
Yes, the
So it's like
Hollywood.
casting a spell on you. It's like
Yes.
this magic, right? So now picture there's secret societies who think they're working with NHI.
Yes.
A common materialist modern person kind of scoffs. They're like, oh, aliens, there's no life on Earth but humans.
Remind them, NHI doesn't mean just aliens.
Right, it means
Just
non-human intelligence,
intelligence.
right?
Thank you, yes.
But still, I'm saying, like, we've kind of, like, played this off as, like, some, like, even playing off, like, celestial contacts in ancient religions as, oh, that's not real, it's a myth.
Mm-hmm.
But really, what we're saying is, like, there's a whole background story to this play of humans, celestials, ultra-terrestrials, angels.
Holy shit. So
And this is critical to understanding how secret societies are
You're
working on
right.
the planet.
If you don't know all of that angles, you're going to be lost.
you're right.
Yeah.
So you know, I was kind of talking smack about Jacques Vallée, like he acts like he knows some kind of secret, but he's just kind of leading on, and maybe he's actually just full of it. But
He did say some crazy shit, though, that like a lot of ET abductions are really the Antarctic Nazis that are...
interesting. Well, also Jacques Vallée, he loves talking about non-human intelligence.
Yes.
And he's kind of like uncomfortable, like I can't really get into it, I can't talk about it. Well, there's photographic evidence, like he was good friends with Anton LaVey, the famous satanic leader guy. I wonder if that is the secret, is that non-human intelligence is freaking midway creature, ultra-terrestrial beings.
That's the connection you were bringing up, and now
Right.
you're bringing up exactly like...
And we heard a rumor recently that, White House says, hey, we support disclosure, we're going to help get these documents out. And then I heard this rumor sort of circulating on the internet that was like, the Pentagon is freaking out because there are Christians at the Pentagon who do not want the UFO subject disclosed to the public because they believe that there are demonic elements, right?
Yes.
So these elements are in the playing field.
In the government.
It's in the government, and Planetary HQ is trying to synthesize and be like, look, we will become intergalactic no matter what.
We can tell you what's happening.
So therefore, it is our inheritance to go out into the stars.
Yep.
But something like in terms of, we need to educate ourselves on the vast history. We're assuming that we're going out into the stars to discover other civilizations, but that's completely wrong. Other civilizations and celestials and ultra-terrestrials have been here for so long,
exactly.
but because the inversion has happened with the secret societies who have been leading the planet, the knowledge gets erased at every fall. During every fall of the civilization, there's an immense amount of knowledge lost. Mm-hmm. And then also there's a type of secrecy kept at the high leadership levels of these different societies where they don't necessarily reveal to the initiate that they are working under a non-human intelligence.
Yeah.
And we need to understand the history. Otherwise, like, we're going to get lost in this fear-mongering. And because some of the stories are true, but some of them are false, meaning, like, there is both aliens and what some people might call demons, but they are not the same, and the history of their interaction is not the same.
But we're here to tell you what is true and what's false.
Yeah, that's
We're
right.
the arbiters of truth. I laugh because it's a joke, guys. But I think we have some good bearings on this. If you listen to all the other videos, you'd be like, you know what? I kind of trust these guys, even though they're talking about crazy shit. But what you're saying, Taylor, NHI doesn't just mean aliens. Everybody in the zeitgeist of UFO dumb is NHI means aliens, bro. There's actually a lot of non-human intelligence that was born on planet Earth, the ultra-terrestrials, that have been in contact with the elites, the deep state, the Illuminati. We would call those rebel midwayers, right? Because the Anunnaki, because they had celestial DNA, they had sex with each other and made invisible beings. And also, Adam and Eve had a son called Adam's son, and Adam's son had sex with a descendant of the Anunnaki, and they made invisible creatures. So at two different times in our planetary history, we made invisible beings who weren't from the stars. They were from Earth. So they're our cousins. They look like humans, but they're invisible. Those are NHI, non-human intelligence.
Okay, so
I think 40 of the 50,000 rebelled. They worked with the rebel Anunnaki, and they are still rebellious today. And they might be why am I beating around the bush? They're in contact with the people that you think are Hollywood elite or Satanists, in contact with demons. They're not in contact with demons. They're in contact with rebel midwayers who are created 250,000 years ago and 37,000 years ago. One from the Anunnaki, one from Adam the Son.
Like one batch in each of those time
We call them
frames.
primary and secondary midway creatures.
And what do you mean what is a midway? What is mid between what? What are you saying?
Exactly. Well, between what? Midway? What the fuck? Is this World War II? The Battle of Midway? Like, no. Midway is an island, and respect to everybody who lost their lives in the Battle of Midway. The midway creatures. The midway creatures are midway between the physical reality and the spiritual reality. I guess there's an intervening sector between physical and spiritual, and it's called plasma.
The Morantia realm.
The Urantia book says it calls it Morantia. If you were to see one of these beings, a midway creature, they would be a plasma being.
Like a plasmoid, like an orb?
Hold up. Chill out, Ashton Forbes. Relax. But when you go to the dream state, you're in the plasma state, the Morantia state, the astral realm, call it what you want. These midwayers exist in this realm. They're called midwayers because they are midway between the spiritual and the physical. When you die, you will become in the Morantia state. So you will be similar to what the midwayers are and the angels are now after you die. Dude, your spirit's made of fucking Morantia material. Your spirit is made of plasma. When you shed this body, your plasma body, your light body, your Morantia body is going to keep living. This is the state that the angels and the midwayers are already in. Just fucking get it into your brain so I don't have to explain it to you every fucking episode. God damn it.
It's like how we have a measurable bioelectric field, but when you die, that goes away.
Yes.
So our mechanical...
Okay, but keep going in a second, but I do want to connect that these beings are connected to the NHI evil entities that these deep state are sacrificing babies to.
Okay. Well,
Sabbatean Frankism.
It is, as an aside, our mechanical bodies are kind of like training
How long
wheels.
have we been going for?
Almost
9:50.
Wait, no, I think the preview's been up longer than.
Okay, that's cool.
I was going to mention, do you remember this interview on the Weaponized podcast with Jeremy Corbell?
Shout out to Jeremy Corbell.
The whistleblower, I believe his name was Matthew Brown. Pretty sure that was his name. Matthew Brown. Yeah, he was this whistleblower on the Weaponized podcast. He had some tweets that were a little concerning where he talks about like the secret space program or whatever that reverse engineered UAPs. And he talks about the NHI and he starts sharing like satanic sigils and says that, have you seen this?
No, I'm just reading Gino's comments right now.
Yeah, that Matthew Brown whistleblower, he says in the Pentagon, they're studying like satanic sigils with their contact with NHI. It's really unusual, and everyone assumed like, that whistleblower's debunked. He's actually a nut. He's kind of crazy. But what if there's some merit to that? The Pentagon's actually secretly studying ways of contacting NHI using
Can you imagine
sigils?
We've theorized before, like how occult does the CIA get, like in their studies of aliens and psionics? Is like how, like what is the level of esoteric that they know? Like, are there specialists in there who have like all read the Urantia book because it's a contact case, and they like did their own investigation to figure out if it's real? Like,
I wonder.
I don't know. It's exciting, but it's also like then people go, oh well, that only the occult people in there, they are the Satanists that are like secretly implanted. I don't know. But Tim Taylor, that's another guy who's very like esoteric. Who is
what's his role?
I don't know. NASA launch engineer, but also read into the UFO reality.
Disinformation or real person? I don't know. Everybody has conflicting viewpoints. The Bledsoe family seems to talk good about him, but everybody else seems to talk crap about him. So
Yeah.
he seems to know about the divide with rebel entities and positive entities.
Right.
He seems like
There's quotes,
you're right. That's a good way.
There's quotes of him talking about like saying it goes like angels, the
Yes.
Central Intelligence Agency,
Yes.
humans,
Interesting.
and that he's like working with angels or something.
Yeah. So it seems like he might have.
He would be one of those people that is like
Has access to
esoteric
that.
and sees the physical side, but also
Interesting. We need
is
some
tapped
more
into
information
this-
on him.
Right.
Because, like, other than him, I don't think I hear anybody else who's also, like, plausibly could know the Urantia book, but is holding it under wraps because of what he's looking into. I don't know. And then because he talks like that, like, let's just say there's different levels of top secretness. Like, Russia and missiles in Iran. You're like a spook. You're like, yeah, I'm CIA. But then there's, like, super deep CIA who's talking about Urantia book and midwayers.
Yeah.
And that guy would sound crazy, right?
Be like
This guy's a psychopath, right?
like Fox Mulder in the X-Files.
So has the public ever gotten real exposure to a person who has access to those files? Maybe not. And if they did, could it be Tim Taylor?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because it's so crazy, all the current UFO people are like, he's a disinformation agent. He's been co-opted. But in reality,
Even the UFO fans can't handle
they
the
can't
truth.
handle the truth. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I didn't mean to get this deep on this podcast, but
Yeah. Good talk. It's awesome that we're all physically here.
yeah.
In the same presence.
To maybe as a closing, so what we're trying to say here is that secret societies have ruled the different civilizations on Earth all the way up to the fact of a certain group of non-human intelligence known as midwares, and their origin story is described in the Urantia book, the Urantia contact case. And they specifically have influenced like the priest of every civilization, you could say.
Every single one.
Whether they're call them priests, but they're those who recognize that there is like a more to this reality.
The shaman on the most
shaman.
isolated island has gotten contacted by him.
They get contacted by these ultra-terrestrial beings who were born here. And these ultra-terrestrials have, like, for a long time in history, they had free reign on the planet to influence different secret societies.
Like a rich kid and their parents aren't home.
And that was the life they lived, and their parents were the Anunnaki. And so you get this like really crazy like backstory once you see these sort of lines of force and influence, and you can paint a cohesive picture here. And once you know that, you are now educated enough to be like, in order to take back the planet and like correct the distortions so that we can openly use advanced technology like anti-grav within our society without weaponizing it into weapons of mass destruction, we need to take our education, our esoteric education about these lost histories of the planet, and use that as like a sort of working basis to understand our place in the cosmos. Because we need to really like pick a side, because otherwise we will be co-opted into someone else's secret society. We will either be co-opted as a leader or servant within their society, or we will be the fodder. We will be the producers of resources for those secret societies who rule at the top. If you're just there as a consumer, you're generating funds for them because you're buying from their system, from their money system.
Perpetuating it.
This is what we need to sort of understand before we sort of make a plan of attack. And so Planetary HQ, your home for all the celestial broadcasts, is attempting to create that, I guess, base level of, I guess, knowledge or education or perspective on the universe, on Earth's story.
Simple. I'm not cutting you off.
No, you're good. I mean, that's I'll end it there. That's kind of the education aspect of Planetary HQ includes that, which is why we read so many weird books that I call them books or strange books with unlikely sources. All the stuff that says it came from non-human intelligence.
Yeah.
But once we correlate that, we start to paint this cohesive picture of reality, which includes informing us as to even like vast concepts which have been relegated to religion, like the theology of the divine, right? This is all part of this study that can sort of assist us, but some of it seems kind of lofty. So then what are other aspects here of a planetary headquarters? Well, there's the ancient history, the lost knowledge of the different NHI that are here influencing the planet.
Yep.
But there's also things like what we call mind, body, spirit progress, or higher higher principles of how exactly do we install, like if we had to install a society on an island, like Lord of the Flies, like how exactly would we do it using these sort of higher principles? That's something we're also sort of interested in. Now, we're not like, that's like maybe a couple steps down the line, but like, again, we're thinking of like how the Anunnaki thought when they landed on the planet. They were like, in order to create a lasting spiritual and material civilization that can go for hundreds of thousands of years, we need to do X, Y, and Z, and we need to educate the people, and we need to give them opportunities and show them how to use technology to rein in and subdue their environment. So all of these things are part of what the planetary headquarters should be doing. Yes. However, it's been co-opted for so long, hundreds of thousands of years. That is why you today, in the materialistic, nihilistic society that feels like lost and that feels like there's no hope and that politics is like going down the drain, all of that is happening because of this inversion. Yeah. And we are here to say that is not the only way.
Fuck that shit.
It's not the only way. You know what I feel like right now? I feel like we're the guy with the pirate TV station in They Live, who's broadcasting the truth, and they keep shutting down his TV station.
Yeah.
Governments, religious institutions, corporations, all of these institutions is the regulative machinery that we've built up over time to run society and to help make our decisions for us. But these major institutions take on minds of their own and end up running rampant. We have let go of the steering wheel. And governments and really any big institution can be hijacked through the back door by gangsters and mafias. Yeah. And creepy occult eyes wide shut elites. And so the solution is we need to build our integrity and our sovereignty. We need to stop relying on these institutions to wipe our booties for us, take care of ourselves, and take the power back into our own hands. We can do this in so many ways. Taking food back from big agriculture, taking holistic medicine back from big pharma, taking back information that corporations hoard with patents to practice DIY maker mindset engineering and solder circuit boards. I mean, I believe if we were to take back as people in little eco-village kind of settings, metalworking and glass blowing and fabrication with the technology we have today, we can manufacture auto parts and build cars ourselves. You can really do anything. There's no limit. The exchange of resources can happen on a higher level in terms of, I mean, we have everything we need to live in an age of abundance. And like you brought up, you do need an ideology in place to prevent it from just unraveling. And that's where Mind, Body, Spirit Progress comes in, and the program that we're developing at Planetary HQ to help get you there.
Amen. Shout out to Elon Musk and the robots that'll be in your house soon.
That's right.
No, I just want to talk about everything we've been talking about and the age-long formula of how evil prevails, you know? You guys love movies. I love movies. You guys know the hero's journey. Hercules, all the ancient Greek mythology, John Wick, the hero's story, the Epic of Gilgamesh, Beowulf, you know, the hero's story, 300. The guy who nobody thought about was going to be it, overcame all the obstacles, banded people together for the right thing, for the right cause, and overcame the evil powers who are in control. It's a beautiful story. There's some, I don't mean, like I said, I already named a couple movies and I don't have to keep naming 100 other movies, but there's a billion movies that captivate that feeling, you know? The reason why evil wins is because they're willing to do bad things that good people aren't willing to do. It's as simple as that. And the formula is, if you have like a time frame, say this is point A and it ends at point B, the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end. I don't care if it's 100 years, 1,000 years, 1,000,000,000 years, the beginning and the end. The evil people will run the entire world with an iron fist for 80 to 90% of that time scale because they're willing to do the bad things. And everybody will look, all the good people will look around and say, why is evil prevailing? Is God real? And it creates this feeling in the good people, like we don't want to kill people, we don't want to hurt people, but these people are hurting us so much, they're killing my family, they're taking from me. And it happens generation after generation until 10 generations down, 90% of the timeline. And the good people go, fuck this. We've studied all your evil tactics. We know which way you're coming from. And now we shall vanquish you with your own tactics.
Hell yeah.
And it fucking happens. In the last 10% of the timeline, the good wins. And that's literally the timeline for everything. Professor Jang talks about it. Mike Benz talks about it. I guess that's how it works. The Keys of Enoch talks about it. That's how it works in the stars. Because the evil is willing to do evil things, they can control the timeline for 80% of the time. 90% of the time, but that last percent of the time, the hero fucking opens up and we win, dog. I know it sounds fucking nuts, but wake up. You're alive right now. If you're hearing this, you are the resistance, and right now is the time where the evil is like teetering because they've been in control for 90% of the timeline. And if we wake the fuck up and band together, we win. It's not even hard, bro. All you got to do is walk the walk, and guess what? We win. Why? Not because you did it. Not because I'm special. Not because Taylor or Magma's special. Because you just decide to walk the walk. And the universe, the stars go to battle for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the energy I'm trying to bring to the table. Imagine if there is something to oppose the dark forces. And everybody likes to talk about the dark forces on Reddit, on Instagram, everything. But nobody knows. Everybody knows the epicenter of the dark forces. It's everywhere. But nobody knows the epicenter of the forces of light that are opposing it. Where is the planetary headquarters? Where did Jesus get his apostles from? Was it from the universities? Was it from the most learned people in the entire world? We literally put our entire timeline around his life and his group, the apostles. He just took random, normal people. So I ain't over here trying to take your money for fucking some church and come to eat my Eucharist. Holy is thou fucking name. But if there's a movement that we can get behind, let's fucking get behind it. And if no one's going to step up, then you step up and I step up. So where is the planetary headquarters? Where the fuck is it? That's my question to you.
Right here, right now.
We're moving together to do this shit. You've watched all of our other videos. You think we talk bullshit just for fun? We have fun and we talk that truth and we do bullshit. But if we're literally changing our lives to come together to make this happen, we lived in different states and now we're living together in the same state.
That's right.
If we did this because we believe it so much, we do this because we believe that you're willing to also step up. Because we can't only do this with 3 people in a fucking room talking to a stupid piece of plastic and fucking glass. That's dumb as fuck. We need you. We need you. So if we can step up together and show, you think we're doing this for humans, you dumb fuck? There's celestials floating above our planet wondering if we're going to make it to the Galactic Federation. And you're dumb fuck listening to this. If you fuck up, you're going to fuck it up for everybody. So if that's happening right now and you have a chance to put your name in the book of life, then come on, dog. Let's band together. No matter how stupid and goofy it looks, no matter if it happens on a YouTube channel, on a YouTube stream, and not through the fucking president of with the seal and everything, that's dumb shit, dog. can we all band together to make it happen? Because if we do it together, guess what the fucking Celestials care about, right? All right, so fuck that bullshit. PHQ, right?
PHQ.
And not us, PHQ. I'm talking about everybody. Planetary headquarters, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Planetary headquarters. We got this.
So gang, this is the first of a lot, dude. I don't know. You guys got anything? I ain't got nothing else.
I got one last thing. When you said people love talking about, the dark forces, the picture that I got was like when people say it, it's like they're saying Voldemort under their breath, like Voldemort, the dark forces. Yeah. And like again, remember the reason that is the impression that you get when you're told about this conspiracy of non-human intelligence, demonic beings controlling secret societies. The reason your mind goes into Voldemort mode and you get quiet and sort of timid is because you do not know like this context of this grand play that we are in. And you will always be that subservient, fearful individual until you sort of use, I guess in the case of intellectual knowledge and books, right? It's a lot more than that. But let's just start there. In the case of this esoteric history that we're talking about, these ultra terrestrials, you understand this story and you sort of go from that like timid like mode where you're like huddling in the corner because you think demons are ruling the planet, and you hear the story about how they were born on the planet and you go, what? That's what the demons are? They were born here? They're like us, but they're immortal? And they've just been like ruling us because they have a little bit of an advantage.
Exactly.
And you stand up and it's like there's a weight lifted off your shoulder. Now you're able to correct that distortion where you misunderstood the origin and the purpose of these dark forces.
Oh yeah, you see through a military tactic.
And that alone as a story can empower you. But then get this, that's not even the empowering part. Like you said, it's understanding how many forces of light are on this planet, awaiting your participation. Because here's the thing about the difference between the forces of light and the dark force is that the dark force takes without asking. And they basically, they give their influence to you without asking. And they end up ensnaring you within their society that they built, that you are a consumer of, that you produce for them, whether you know them or not. Ooh. But the difference is that the forces of light, they wait until you ask, and then they give you something. They do not give you what you do not ask for.
Exactly.
And that is by the law of free will. That is like a sort of cosmic law that was even encoded into, the Galactic Federation concepts in Star Trek, because Gene Roddenberry was interested in these subjects. He was in these circles where they were like channeling the Galactic Federation. I have a book called like Messages from Deep Space Nine, and that Gene is in the transcripts asking questions. He was aware of these subjects. That is why Star Trek is so like poignant. It is based on concepts from reality. He didn't pull it all out of his ass, right? And so the understanding that the forces of light will help you when you ask, but they are much more subtle. They know that this is our planet primarily. We are the citizens, and we are responsible for how how the society will be managed. Meaning that if we want to be slaves underneath these secret societies and these ultra-terrestrials, then so be it. We
can be, yeah.
But until we step up and actually actively, I guess, turn the tide, so to speak, until we no longer shake the hand of the devil to get a little power and money, which we think is valuable, until we actually look to the 500 million groups of pairs of seraphim. What does the Urantia book say? How many were there in count?
500 million.
Around 5.
Staggering number.
Urantia gives a lot of numbers on how many angels and what exactly they're doing, and it says there's like 500 million pairs of seraphim here working on the planet.
To over 1 billion individuals.
Right. and remember, like, again, like I said, like, when you ask, they will sort of create the synchronicities for you. They will start moving people, introducing possibilities, and it's gonna feel like some sort of magic is happening back.
Literally.
Like, why are these opportunities coming up? Like, and you start tuning into what some people call downloads, intuition, the voice of, you know, the spirit, the Holy Spirit, if you grew up in church, like that is, it's sort of calling you, but remember, it never imposes its will on you like the dark force does. The dark force sort of uses an underhanded way to get you to agree to be within their system.
Usurps.
But the light, the forces of light, they come and they give you truth. They talk in parables and they say, if you want to hear the deeper message, like, you'll hear it. But if you're but base, or you just care about money and the material things, you're going to hear the story and you're going to miss out on the truth in the story. So yeah, that's my words of power.
You know,
Words of Power V2.
Yeah.
You mentioned free will, and that is an important aspect when you look at the dark forces. They have free will. They're able to abuse that and manipulate others. But when you succumb to that, you're giving into the power of fear, which kind of belittles you. But the universal creator, infinite intelligence, creates everything through the power of love. You look at the forces that bind the atoms together in a molecule, the forces that bind people together to form a civilization. When, just like a person who has a child and becomes a parent, you suddenly have something to protect, something worth fighting for. As human beings, we can get by with an easy pass and live our lives comfortably and not really try to make the world a better place. But when you kind of wake up and you realize you actually have something to protect, you have nothing to be afraid of anymore. And you got an army of light backing you.
Amen.
We're going to make it happen.
Put your back to a river.
Put your back to a river. That's right.
We out. PHQ.